with Team USA, the U.S. men's national team, bouncing their coach, Greg Berhalter, yesterday, and also England advancing to the Euro Cup final. Definitely had to reach out to our friend of the program, the co-founder of the Men in Blazers Media Network, Roger Bennett, back here on the program. Good to see you, Roger.
Oh, Rich Eisen, it's a joy to be with you, you beautiful human being.
Yeah, I'm back at you, and I refer to you as a beautiful human being as well. You came in here years ago. You gave me a Bilf mug. You and I have got the same, follicle situation, growing the beard because we're out of moves. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, hold on, I'm going to put my glasses on as well. Look at us.
What can you do? What can you do? Can I just tell you, one of the many reasons I love America, one of the many reasons becoming an American has made me love this nation, even more than Kenny Powers loved this nation, is that you allow bald men on the television. It's an amazing basic freedom. I'm in England at the moment. They don't allow bald men on the television over here.
That's right. Graham Norton's got a full head of hair, right? He's got that working. I'm just trying to think who else. I didn't see it when I was there for a couple of games last year. Didn't see many presenters looking like us. No.
You do not see a single one of us, Rich Eisen, and you're doing the Lord's work, baby.
Thank you. Right back at you. All right, you naturalized co-founder of the Men in Blazers Media Network. Why is Greg Berhalter no longer the coach of the U.S. men's national team? What do you think?
Good Lord. You want to start there? I'm in England. Yeah. England just qualified for a final. We could have done happy things. Instead, we're talking about hello, darkness, my old friend. Yes. Look, the U.S. men's national team, England, who I don't support because I am American now.
That's right.
But there's a yearning, there's a longing there, an unfulfilled longing, very different from the yearning in the United States. We put a man on the moon. We are the world's first superpower. The one thing we remain crap at and have a sense of inferiority is men's football. Our women are remarkable. They've won World Cups, gold medals. The rest of the world knows that they know that we know that they know that we know that we're still quite poor at football, and we shouldn't be, because this is the best of times, the worst of times for men's football. We have the most successful crop of young talents who are now plying their trade in Europe. We've been able to field a team for the first time in our nation's history, not in Abraham Lincoln's time, not in George Washington's time. None of this happened. We can start 11 players who all are on clubs in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So we've got this raising talent, steel sharpens steel. They're very young. The coach for the past 5.5 years was a gentleman, a fellow bald, Greg Berhalter. He was a young coach. He was a raw coach. He was let go after we just failed in a tournament that's being held right now in the United States with your Brazils, your Argentinas, your Colombias, called the Copa America. He failed to get the team out of the basic group stage. First time in the nation's history that a host has failed. Ultimately, in marketing, you can take a new product to an old market or an old product to a new market, but you can't take a new product to a new market, or it's very difficult. To have such a young coach with such a green learning curve, with so many remarkable, Christian Pulisic, many of your viewers will have heard of, the king of Hershey, Pennsylvania, the LeBron James of soccer, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, young, raw, wonderful talents. To have such a young manager ultimately playing quite naive football, almost trying to make us play too complex a football, trying to be like Barcelona of 2012 or Brazil of Pele, because we have an inferiority, Rich. We want to show the world not just that we can win, but that we can play razzle-dazzle. In the international level, you just have to bloody win games. We can, he couldn't, and so he's gone. And the World Cup is just 700 days away in this nation. It will be held from when we're speaking, Rich. So the next appointment is utterly crucial.
So the question is, again, I mean, just taking a look at the Copa America results as an example, I mean, taking care of Bolivia first up, and sports fans may remember Bolivia as the place where Mike Tyson once said he wanted to send one of his opponents to Bolivia instead of oblivion. That's one thing.
God bless. Also, we got our revenge for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Didn't they end in Bolivia?
That's there we go.
Finally.
Spoiler alert. Come on, it's fun. Get out of here.
But sorry, guys.
No,
sorry,
but I mean, Christian Pulisic started the scoring in that with a brilliant goal, right? And then obviously what happened against Panama, everything went haywire after scoring the opener in that one, with Weah getting a red card because he'd lost his mind. and then what happened against Uruguay in their final attempt. I mean, how does that rest on Berhalter's?
Rich, we lost to Panama. We lost to a Van Halen single. Like that is a no-no. Whether you care about football or you don't care about football, you do not want to get beaten by Sammy Bloody Hagar, right? So that is not acceptable. You're asking me, how's it on him? You know this. You know what coaches do. Look, there's an adage. There's in international football, the football needs to be simple. It shouldn't be complex. These are essentially all-star teams that come together fleetingly. And the coach sets a tone. He actually had many achievements. This gentleman, in all seriousness, did build a brotherhood, a deep brotherhood amongst these young players, where you couldn't interview one of the US stars without them using that word, band of brothers, at least twice in an interview. And it was glorious. Created a wonderful team culture, but it almost became too cozy, too complacent. You've seen in this Copa America, you saw it in an instance where one of our players ultimately punched an opponent in the back of the head, that it became too complacent. So, there's a thin line between feeling great in your place, feeling complacent, entitled, feeling privileged. And ultimately that culture went awry. The football, the results were terrible. I think we lost 5 of our last 9 games. And what do we love in America, Rich Eisen?
Winning.
We love winning.
Yes, sir.
We love teams that win. This team can win. We've seen in the Euros. Here's the thing. International football is a wonderful journey. It's football made of vibes and moments. It's Virgil. It's Homer's Odyssey. It is just remarkable national moments. And we've seen this summer in the Euros in Europe. We've seen Slovakia have games of wonder. We've seen Slovenia. We've seen all the Slavs have games of wonder. We've seen Albania make their fans cry with joy. We've seen Georgia rise up and smite Belgium, make their fans joy. Georgia, go Dogs. I don't mean the state, I mean the country. Why never us? That's really the question. It should be us too. We should be able to go on a dizzying hero's journey with the talent we have available. And so with this World Cup coming to 2026, to these shores, who the United States appoint, who they can bring in. There's rumors of all kinds of big names. There's rumors of many American-born coaches because there's some philosophy that there should be an American leader of the American face of the team when the World Cup is here and the spotlight's on, the global spotlight, but also the national spotlight, the fan base of Rich Eisen,
yes, sir,
who are not yet won over to soccer, some of your fans. We want an American speaking to them. So the decision that US soccer now make in this moment of quandary is going to be definitive. You could argue it's probably the biggest decision economically, commercially, and in terms of the future growth of the game on the men's side that they've ever made.
Would you say it's fair, Roger Bennett, that the talent level that we've seen on the pitch, right, that clearly is better now than it has been in the past, has not been matched by the men's coaching community, that there's a brain drain at that level, that hasn't developed as terrifically as maybe the on the field talent? Is that a fair assessment?
You're 100% right, and a non-controversial statement. Look, elite football coaching occurs in Europe. Mm-hmm. That's where the cross-border, cross-pollination of ideas is sharpened. You have Catalan coaches, German coaches, the occasional English coach, Italian coaches, Basque coaches. There's a tiny area in Spain within the Basque region where I think 5 or 6 of the best club. It's a crazy moment where they've all risen up from this tiny, essentially a neighborhood. They're all sharpening their ideas together. And what's happened is Americans play very little part in it. We're in a bubble. We're in a backwater here in the United States for many reasons that are too complicated for this show. There's very few American coaches who've even gone over to Europe to take an apprenticeship, to become an assistant coach, to learn at the knee of the great managers. And until they do, look, we're American. We love our 3-ply toilet paper. We love our home comforts. It took forever for our men's players to feel comfortable enough to go over to the cutting edge of football. It's a brutal, unforgiving world. And until American coaches do go over there, the level of men's coaching will be about as good as, for instance, here in England, the level of basketball coaching, the best English basketball coach, you wouldn't be appointing him even at the college level of any significance. And so our weight class as coaches is just not where we need it to be. I'd love them to appoint Steve Kerr, Rich Eisen. I think they should take Kerr. The nation needs Kerr. We need Kerr more than the Golden State Warriors need Kerr. He loves his football.
Liverpool,
he appreciates it. Yes, he's mad for Liverpool. When you speak to him, he understands the difference in space and vision and passing. He's really turned his head to it. Get Kerr. Joe Mazzulla, another guy, hangs out with Pep Guardiola, the great Manchester City manager, kind of the Bill Belichick equivalent within club football. Lend us Mazzulla, Celtics. Lend us Steve Kerr in our nation's hour of need, and we will repay you with gold.
Steve Lasso, Joe Lasso, or something like that. I guess, but I do know you have been another reason why you and I get along so well, Roger Bennett, is I love speaking things into existence. I love landing my chess piece in a spot and keeping my finger on that piece until that piece is the winning piece. And I know we were talking about Coach Klopp. You're talking about Jurgen Klopp quite a bit. And so there's a photograph that you posted online today. I believe this is at Men in Blazers. There you go. And that this is from Liverpool Today. You said it's 1,000% real. I don't mean to pop your bubble here, but it looks awfully familiar, this photograph, from one that was part of a Hollywood Reporter feature on you. So, I mean, did you really place the word States with a Nike swoosh on that? Sweatshirt today, Roger?
I don't know what you're doing. I feel like this is To Catch a Predator. Suddenly, Rich Eisen, you've done me dirty.
You are on the prowl, though. That's for sure.
All I'm going to tell you is that second photograph.
Yes,
somebody's airbrushed. Somebody's airbrushed something out in that one. That's I'll go. But anyway, all of this is ridiculous because Jurgen Klopp, who is he? Rich Eisen Show fans who don't follow football.
Yes.
He's kind of like German Jim Harbour, if you can just keep rolling with me there. He's like a Teutonic Care Bear. He's like all vibes and wonder. When he was here, he was probably the last sensible man left in England. He's a wonderful, empathetic human being. There were rumours abounding the past 48 hours. He's just retired from club football at Liverpool, run by FSG, Fenway Sports Group, the Boston Red Sox owners. They had a love affair, a wonderful run with this man, a genius. Spent a lot of time with him, one of the most joyous human beings in sports. 48 hours of madness where it was rumoured that US Soccer were trying to tempt him. He was burnt out with club football. Take an easier job. Come over to America.
Right, yeah.
Manage the team a little bit. Come on the Rich Eisen Show on occasion. Play chess with Rog and Rich. It was rumoured in today's English papers that US Soccer had made a hard approach to Jurgen Klopp, which is news that made American fans' nipples tingle. And at half an hour before I got on the Eisen Show, Jurgen Klopp's people put out a statement just saying, nine. I missed the detail out there. He's such a wonderful man. On July 4th, he put out a "I love America" post on his social media that did make us think. It's not happening, Rich.
So, but maybe more money. I mean, what does he like? Does he want to live on the West Coast? Where does he want to live? If you want to live in South Florida, where does he want to live? I mean, come on.
I've got a feeling US Soccer offered him the chance to be part-time manager and also to become the next president of the United States.
Maybe so.
We'll give him anything. If that's what it takes, we'll give you anything. But it's not going to happen. And so the search goes on. Steve Kerr, if you watch the Rich Eisen Show, give me a call. We'll get this deal done.
Oh, he does. Roger Bennett here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, the Men in Blazers Media Network, you are the co-founder. I'm assuming Mr. Davies is the other co-founder of it as well. And you had you put together a survey of some sort, Roger? What's the survey that you guys put together?
Are you talking about our survey of American sports fandom? We polled 9,000 American football fans to get a state of the American fan. We did this with YouGov. We just put it out. It's available on our website. 87% of Americans under the age of 30 say they are quite fascinated by the sport of football. But what we wanted to look at was how Americans are different to European football fans. Now this nation's truly becoming a football crazy nation. Every streamer, NBC doing such a great job with the Premier League, CBS bringing over the Champions League. Everybody's, every kick of the ball is now available. And so the report details how American fans are. They are radically different. I'm in Liverpool at the moment, where I grew up. Here, you support the team that's local, that was in your multi-generation. I'm an Everton fan. We're terrible, but my dad was an Everton fan. My grandpa was an Everton fan. We love trauma. And in America, you are choosing with fresh eyes. And what's fascinating is that 43% of American football fans support not one, not two, but three football teams. They're choosing with fresh eyes. They'll say, my English team is Arsenal, my German team is Dortmund, and I love AC Milan because of Christian Pulisic. And also, when they stop being interested in a team, when Chelsea start losing instead of winning, there's nothing to keep them there. They're not bound by that generational past or familial constraints or geographical reality. Americans love a winner. When they stop winning, 12% of American fans have changed their Premier League team in the past 5 years, which is fascinating. We're not monogamous, and we have to have the story hum and emotionally connect with us on repeat, or else we'll move away. So ultimately, the great news is Americans adore this sport, but the teams who are trying to win their hearts and their minds have to truly understand the differences, both on the women's side and the men's side, as they capture what was, when I came here, Rich, 2026, the World Cup, Men's World Cup will be here. I moved here in 1994, and this nation, America, felt like space to Captain Kirk, the final frontier, when no one cared.
Yeah.
2026, the game's coming back here. There's a massive audience, but to truly engage it, you just have to understand the differences, because it is unbelievable. And anyone who hated football, who's watching this, who now has a Tottenham Hotspur tattoo on their forearm and they're not quite sure how they got there, you're probably nodding and saying, yeah, that's me.
No, Susie and I, my wife and I, we took our 13-year-old son before sending him off to summer camp to the Copa America Mexico-Venezuela match at SoFi. Awesome. Just awesome. I mean, the crowd was into it. It was great. And so the sport is no question growing here. There's no doubt about it. There's more interest. There's more, understanding of, I hear so few times now, oh, it's just 1-0. That's so boring. It's not at all. I mean, there's so much strategy. There's so much excitement that goes into it. And also, I'll be honest as well, and it's one thing I want to hit with you before I let you go, Roger, is I saw this, I do believe, on the Men in Blazers site on Twitter handle first, and it's everywhere now. The Killers concert last night in London, that they stopped the concert to watch the end of England beating the Netherlands and then went right into Mr. Brightside. That is truly one of the most amazing pop culture moments I've witnessed anywhere on the planet. That was awesome.
I'm not an England fan, Rich Eisen. I'm not a Killers fan, but I've got to say I watched that clip.
Right.
And I teared up watching it. It is so stunningly beautiful. This nation where I was born, this nation where I'm from, they have longed to win a tournament on the men's side since 1966, a fabled year when they won the World Cup on home turf. Since then, they've just wasted every opportunity. They've had so much opportunity, so much superiority just frittered away by a self-destruction and just an adoration for national trauma. They are in a final on Sunday. They will play a quite daunting Spain, it has to be said. They have been terrible in this tournament. They have been every single game. They have great players, but they play very conservative, very slow-paced, they play a game of vibes and moments, but those moments have been so ecstatic, and they have almost crapped themselves. They've almost self-loathed themselves into this final. And every time they've won, the nation has said, but you're terrible. You're awful to watch. You're awful. You're doomed. But no, They have reached the bloody final of the Euros. This, Rich, may be the most English thing that ever Englished. If they finally win this tournament that the nation has longed for, but the nation just says, God, you won. We've dreamt of it, but you were crap. That self-loathing in a moment of victory may be the most British thing that's ever British.
I was texting with a British friend of mine during the extra time of England versus Switzerland when it was obvious that there were going to be penalty kicks, which is, the bugaboo of all bugaboos. And I texted him right at the end after they made all 5 of their penalty kicks and, stopped the first Swiss one. I'm like, easy peasy. You're in a rocking chair, man. Who knew? It
is incredible. By the way, penalties for decades were just a dragon that always slayed us. We have now slayed that dragon. Right. It's hard to imagine a team that more takes the field between soaring destiny and absolute self-sacrifice and slaughter. Every time they kick a ball, Rich, I think of the Rudyard Kipling line, if you can keep your head while all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So Godspeed. I don't support England. My old man, my father, just passed away on July 4th, so I'm back here burying him. So I get great pleasure knowing he would have gotten such great pleasure out of this whole spectacle. This is a country that's in slight chaos at the moment, but there is a sense of destiny, dare I say, magic about this team. And I would love nothing more, honestly, than on Sunday for them to experience happiness, even of the fleeting type, even of the self-loathing type.
Well, Roger, before I let you go, I mentioned this off air. I'll say it here on air again. I lost my dad it's 5 years now, and coming up in December. And so it's a club you don't want to be a part of, but I just wanted to offer my condolences. I think we have, you posted a photograph. There you are with your dad right there. Just from all of us here, we just send our condolences. But based on the post that I saw, you lived a terrific life, and you guys enjoyed your time together.
You're a beautiful human being, Rich. To you, to your viewers, savor the time. Ultimately, I'll say this: what sports does is allows us to make, at its best, transcendent cross-generational memories. So many of my happiest memories with my dad, whom I did love, were watching football. By the way, football when we won, football when we lost. It didn't really matter. But all I say to your viewers out there, savor every single second watching the sport you love with your family members. Do not take a second of it for granted.
You're the man, Roger. Thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy your time with your family while you were there. Will you be there still for Sunday when England is there? Or you're out?
I will be back in the great United States of America. I'll be in Dallas. So any of your viewers who are in that city, I'll be watching the Copa American final with the great Brandon Aubrey, the Dallas Cowboys kicker, once a great footballer himself. Come and have a pint with us and come and give me a hug. Enjoy every second. Go, 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 USA.
At Men in Blazers on Instagram and Twitter. Also at Raj Bennett on Twitter. The Men in Blazers Media Network also includes, obviously, the Men in Blazers show you could see on Peacock, which you can see right here on Roku. You're the man, Roger. Take care of yourself, brother.
Rich Eisen, big love.
Right back at you. That's Roger Bennett right here on The Rich Eisen Show, everybody. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.